Good morning. Good morning. Today is April 25th. We're looking at the stock Meta. Meta reported earnings yesterday. As you guys can see, it had a significant drop from the highs of 514 to 399. We're going to put a support level at that 399, symbolizing that this is the lowest point that this stock has reached. You guys can see it had a slow grind up, holding above that SMA. When we did break it, you guys can see we basically broke it, tried to get above it. We had a red candle rejection, broke it again, and then we came right back down. So definitely want to watch to see how this stock performs as we are looking at the RSI over here. RSI is telling us that it is oversold and in deem or basically a good value at this moment. So definitely want to pay attention to see how this stock probably may cause, it may have a reversal over here. So definitely want to keep this in watch, especially since we're oversold on the 180 day. Jumping over toward the yearly does not update until the market opens. So you guys can see, definitely want to check the yearly when the market opens. We're looking at the 180 day, we are very oversold. Looking at the 20 day, we are very oversold. So definitely want to see how we basically react today and the next upcoming days. You guys know me. For those of you who have been watching my previous videos, I'm going to be looking for a break of the EMA for that possible long position. I want us to basically find some type of support around this 399, right? We have that rejection, we want support, and we want that confirmation of the uptrend. But when we do come back up, we want to be cautious because now we are trading below the SMA. Above the SMA, this line over here is deemed bullish, and below it is bearish. And that SMA can act as a support, as you guys can see over here, or it could act as a rejection. So when the candles are above it, support. When the candles are below it, rejection. So definitely want to pay attention as we watch Meta. It does have a lot of upcoming news. There's new headsets. There's supposed to be a cheaper headset. There's Meta AI, as you guys see on your Instagram. So definitely want to pay attention to see how this company moves forward. Just marking out simple support and resistance levels as I watch the chart and stuff like that. But overall, we did have a massive drop. You want to see how does this stock recover from this. Do you guys think Meta is going to go to zero? Do you guys think it's valued at this $400 price point? Let's see. Only time could tell. Definitely want to wait for that 1 year to upload so I can make a further analysis. But you're always right to set alerts at the break of that EMA. That EMA is that blue line. Same thing as the SMA when we're trading above it, it's bullish. When we start trading below it, that's bearish. So don't want to get fully bullish on this stock until we basically get above this 453 level. Unless you have long-term conviction on Meta, I would wait to see how it reacts today. Maybe goes sideways, maybe even goes lower, right? Just because the stock is oversold does not mean it has to overall bounce immediately. Definitely want to pay attention to see how this moves and set alerts and wait for that break of that EMA for full confirmation. But overall, I know a lot of bulls are going to be loading up on these long positions, especially if you got long-term conviction on this stock. You could definitely get some long-term calls or long-term shares at this point if you're a Meta believer. Next one we're going to talk about is Tesla. Tesla had earnings recently as well. If we're looking at Tesla, Tesla actually has not been doing well overall as an overall stock. You guys can see it went from the highs of 299 to the lows of 138 over here. Definitely want to see what's going to overall happen. You guys can see it's been actually making lower highs as we continue. This is the yearly, the 1 year, 1 day, which means this is 1 year of time. Each candle on this time frame is 1 day, so definitely want to pay attention to see what overall happens over here to see if the stock continues up or if it starts to come back down, right? I like to mark my EMAs a certain line color. As you guys can see, my 1 year is a solid orange. This is just what I do because once you go over towards a smaller time frame, you're not going to be able to see that yearly EMA, right? But now I know, hey, this is the yearly EMA. This is going to be a major pivot point, right? I tend to believe that the EMAs are major pivot points within the stock, right? So Tesla had earnings. You guys could see the stock basically bounced, right? What happened? The stock was oversold. Look at the RSI, very oversold. Even as it was selling off, it was selling off oversold. Just like I told you, just because the stock is oversold does not mean it can't continue to be oversold and continue to go down, right? You want to wait for confirmation of that EMA break. got that confirmation right through earnings, and it started to push up. What is going on now, right? Tesla is overbought. Looking at the RSI, she's overbought. Not only that she's overbought, but she's approaching a previous SMA level and a previous resistance level, right? You guys can see this support became resistance around that 167 level, 168 level. So definitely want to pay attention to see how Tesla moves forward. But overall, I do think that she's overbought and may be in need of a pullback, right? So like we said, it's been making lower highs. Just because you have one good earnings doesn't mean that the stock is going to fully recover. You guys can see even on the 20-day, I've switched over to the 20-day 1 hour, meaning each one of these candles is 1 hour of information. You guys can see that we are overbought here as well. And it looks like Tesla is kind of struggling, right? You guys see the stock pushed up and it's going sideways. I like to say that when you see a stock push up and go sideways, that is a sign of weakness, and typically the stock may want to come down lower, right? So let's see how this reacts. I want to see if the stock wants to come down lower, which overall it is overbought. So I know a lot of bears are hungry right now. Few cases or few areas you want to watch for Tesla, right? Since they already announced earnings, today's not really like a waiting day. I don't like to trade stocks immediately after earnings. As you guys can see, if you traded Tesla yesterday, you would have got caught up in a whole bunch of chop going sideways. Always want to wait for confirmation. Wait for that confirmation of the break of 158.60. Then we can start breaking down towards 154 over here. So make sure you set your alerts. That's what I did over here to see if we break that level. To the upside, we have an upside level of 164 up towards that 168. But as I said, she's overbought. So I would be mainly looking for a possible short position on Tesla on the break of the 20-day SMA. Last but not least, looking at SPY. So SPY, we kind of got some negative GDP numbers this morning. As you guys can see, SPY is giving it up this morning, right? We're rejecting yesterday's lows, or we're rejecting 20-day EMAs, 180-day EMAs, and she's still going lower. Very, very greedy of her. So definitely, this is the 20-day 1 hour. Each candle is 1 hour of information. As you guys can see, that she's breaking this previous support level at 501. 501 acted as a support before. As you guys can see the date and time over here, 501 acted as support, and she's starting to break down towards that next support level at 498. She too is getting oversold, so you want to be very cautious going to short positions today, especially she's already given the move right now. She's getting oversold right now on the 20-day. Let's jump over towards the 180-day. 180-day MACD is crossing down. She is starting to show bearish signs, holding below that EMA, but definitely want to be cautious with those short positions. She does have a little bit more room on the 180-day. Who knows? Maybe the next possible level, be very cautious if you are a bear today, 498 down towards this 495. Overall, let's give it a whole breakdown. Yesterday, you guys could see that we basically had that pop, right? We basically were selling off. The SPY was very bearish for the past month. You guys could see we basically was coming down. And then she got very oversold, right? She got oversold, broke above that 180-day 4-hour EMA. We started to ride up. Where did the SPY reject, right? That's why it's always good to zoom out. When in doubt, zoom out. If you go to the 1 year, sorry for all the lines. It's not the 1 year, this is the 5 year. If you go to the 5 year, this is the 5-year EMA, and this is why I marked these lines, right? The 5-year EMA was a major rejection point for the SPY, right? If you zoom back in, right, you guys can see when we were above that 5-year EMA, this blue line over here, we were bullish. When we start to get below it, that's bearish. That rejection off of that 5-year EMA is a bearish sign, right? So if you look at this overall chart, you guys can see that we are still overbought. The 5-year still crossed down. We probably have opportunity for more downside, right? Probably have opportunity for more downside if you're looking at the 5-year, right? If you jump over towards the 1 year, 1 year was a little bit oversold, right? I like to think of the market as it moves in waves, right? So the 5 year is overbought, but the 1 year was oversold. So that 1 year had to bounce to make more room for some possible downside, or it could be an overall reversal. It all depends on what you think and how you want to read the market. There's opportunity everywhere, right? But I do believe we rejected that 5-year. You guys can see that red candle. This is a 1-day candle. Rejected that 5-year, and we possibly have more room for downside now that we made more room on the RSI, right? You seen that 5-year was very overbought, and we rejected that EMA. Unless we get back above that 5-year EMA, which is around like 506, and we start to hold above there, maybe we could start testing that 524, right? Maybe we could start going higher, right? But unless we stay below that 506, I think that we could still possibly go lower. So let's see what happens. I do think it's going to be a wave, so it's not going to be a huge drop one day, but it may bounce, come back down, bounce, come back down. Unless we get back above that 5-year EMA, I think we're going to be on a bearish track. What do you guys think? Comment below. But overall, for me to get bullish on SPY, I would want to see her break above a lot of key levels, right? I would want to see her break above 501 and 503. Not to say, hey, you can't catch a scalp down here, right? Yes, you can, right? If you drop down towards the lower time frames, you guys can see 30-minute is getting very oversold over here. I wouldn't be shocked if this 30-minute basically we get a bounce. But think about it. If we do go for a bounce, there's a lot of basically traffic above here, right? A lot of lines. What's going on with all these lines, right? This line over here, that's a 20-day SMA. This line over here is representing the 20-day EMA. These areas act as rejection points when the candles are below it. When the candles are above it, they act as a floor, right? Meaning the candles could climb above it, as you guys can see over here. So we have a lot of key rejection points. So we definitely want to be cautious. Not only that, this is the 1-year EMA over here. So at 504. So definitely want to be cautious. Definitely want to be careful. Stay tuned. Hopefully I post another video tomorrow. See you guys in the next one. Peace.